Here are 7 hidden traits only INFJs have. Number 1. They sense emotions before anyone says a word. INFJs are basically emotional detectives. They don't need someone to tell them how they feel because they already know. You could walk into a room fuming, exhausted, or secretly thrilled, and the INFJ will pick up on it before you even open your mouth. It's not magic, it's their superhuman intuition. They notice the tiniest cues, the way your shoulders slump, the micro expression that flashes across your face, the subtle shift in tone, and piece together your emotional state like a puzzle. While the rest of us are guessing, they're already aware. The wildest part, they often feel these emotions themselves. INFJs are so empathetic that someone else's sadness, anxiety, or excitement can echo inside them. That's why being around an INFJ can feel both comforting and intense. They understand you on a level that almost no one else does. And it's not just reading emotions for fun. They use this insight to respond in ways that actually help, whether it's offering a quiet word of encouragement, adjusting their behavior, or just being present in exactly the way you need. Number 2. They absorb other people's energy without realizing it. INFJs are like emotional sponges, and not always in a fun, I feel inspired kind of way. They soak up the moods, tensions, and vibes of everyone around them, often without even realizing it. Walk into a room full of stressed people and suddenly the INFJ feels like they've personally taken on everyone's anxiety. It's not that they want to feel everyone else's emotions, it's just how their brain and heart are wired. Their empathy is so strong that the emotional states of others bleed into them. Sometimes subtly, sometimes like a full-on emotional tidal wave. And because they often don't consciously filter it, they can leave social interactions feeling drained, even if nothing happened to them personally. This is also why INFJs need alone time to recharge. They have to decompress, sort through which feelings are theirs and which belong to everyone else, and restore their emotional balance. Without this reset, their own thoughts and feelings get tangled in the noise of everyone else's energy. The upside? This ability makes them incredibly compassionate and perceptive. They can anticipate what someone needs emotionally before that person even asks. But the downside, spending too much time around negativity can silently wear them down. Number 3, they have an inner moral compass that rarely wavers. INFJs have this internal GPS that points straight to what's right, even when the world around them is spinning in chaos. Their moral compass isn't based on popularity, convenience, or rules. It's based on deeply held values and a sense of integrity that rarely bends. You might see an INFJ quietly disagree with something everyone else accepts, or take a stand on an unpopular issue. Not to be difficult, but because it feels wrong to ignore it. They can sense when actions, words, or systems clash with their core ethics, and they don't just notice it internally, they often feel compelled to act in subtle or big ways. The fascinating part? They don't broadcast it. INFJs rarely go around preaching their morality. Instead, it guides their decisions, their relationships, and even the way they approach work or hobbies. You'll see it in the little things, the choices they make, the loyalty they show, the quiet ways they protect people or ideas they care about. This moral compass makes them deeply principled, sometimes to the point of self-sacrifice. They're not motivated by recognition, they're motivated by alignment, living authentically according to their values. And that's what makes INFJs so magnetic and quietly inspiring. They live with an integrity that's rare, even if it's invisible to most people. Number 4. They think in layers. Every decision has multiple dimensions. INFJs don't make decisions like most people do, in a straight line from A to B. No, their minds are like an intricate, multi-layered map, where every choice has dozens of overlapping dimensions, consequences, emotions, values, potential outcomes, and even how it might affect people they've never met. You might think they're overthinking, but they're just thinking deeply. While you see a single path, an INFJ sees a branching tree of possibilities, weighing each one against their principles, intuition, and long-term vision. That's why they can seem slow to decide. It's not indecision, it's strategic reflection on every ripple their choice might cause. The interesting part? They often anticipate problems before anyone else does. By considering multiple layers, they spot conflicts, emotional impacts, and logical gaps that would completely surprise others. And once they've decided, it's rarely impulsive. It's a well-calculated, values-aligned choice that carries far-reaching thoughtfulness. This multi-layered thinking makes INFJs brilliant problem solvers and counselors. They don't just see what's on the surface, they see the undercurrents, the hidden dynamics, and the long-term effects of actions, which is why their advice is so insightful, even if it takes a while to get there. Number 5. They secretly crave alone time to process the world. INFJs love people deeply, passionately, and sometimes too much. But here's the thing. Being around others constantly can drain them faster than you'd expect. That's because their brains and hearts are always processing emotions, conversations, social dynamics, and the subtle unspoken things people never say out loud. Alone time isn't selfish for an INFJ, it's survival. It's when they recharge, reflect, and untangle the emotional and mental threads they've absorbed. During this time, they process experiences, strategize how to approach relationships, and make sense of the world in a way that only they can. Without it, everything feels heavier, louder, and more overwhelming. The irony, even when they disappear for solitude, they're still thinking about others. They might be quietly worrying about a friend's well-being, planning a thoughtful response, or imagining solutions to problems that don't even involve them. Alone doesn't mean isolated, it means recalibrating so they can re-engage fully and meaningfully. Number 6. They give deep loyalty to the few they truly trust. INFJs don't hand out their trust like candy. It's rare, precious, and carefully guarded. But once they give it, it's like having a secret weapon in your corner. Fierce, loyal, unwavering support, and a level of dedication most people can only dream of. They observe, analyze, and test people quietly before letting anyone get close. They want to make sure you're authentic, consistent, and worth their emotional investment. It's not about suspicion, it's about protecting themselves from the overwhelm of giving too much too soon. When an INFJ decides you're in, you'll notice it in subtle but profound ways. They remember small details about your life, anticipate your needs, and stand by you even when no one else would. Their loyalty isn't flashy or performative, it's steady, thoughtful, and enduring. But here's the catch. Betray that trust and it's not just hurt feelings. INFJs have a zero-tolerance policy for disloyalty or inconsistency. Once their trust is broken, they quietly withdraw and rarely revisit the relationship. It's not vindictive, it's self-preservation and respect for their own emotional boundaries. Number 7. They're quietly visionary, seeing patterns most people miss. INFJs have a way of noticing things that fly completely under the radar of everyone else. They see connections between events, behaviors, and ideas that most people wouldn't even consider. It's like their minds have a built-in pattern detector, constantly scanning the world for hidden meaning, underlying systems, and long-term consequences. This visionary trait isn't loud or showy. They won't announce, "I see the future." Instead, they quietly form insights, predictions, and solutions that feel almost magical to anyone else. You might be stuck in the chaos of the present, while the INFJ calmly maps out a path several steps ahead, already seeing potential problems and opportunities before they happen. Because they process things deeply and intuitively, INFJs can also foresee emotional ripples. They know how a decision will affect not just outcomes, but the people involved, and often advise or act accordingly. This is why they're incredible strategists, counselors, and friends who seem to know things without explanation. Their quiet, visionary nature makes them subtle influencers. They don't seek recognition, but their insights shape decisions, inspire action, and sometimes change the course of events without anyone noticing they were guiding it all along. These videos will be really helpful for you.